Let's talk about Jainism. If you're a Jain, then you're someone who practices Jainism. What is Jainism? Jainism is a religion that does not have a prophet that was pretending or claiming to have been inspired by some supernatural being. Instead, the founder of Jainism is just some guy like, say, Gandhi or Siddhartha, who is teaching how to live, and people are following him, and around him there becomes a religion. Just like there's a religion built around Jesus, there's a religion built around Muhammad, there's also a religion built around this guy, Mahavira. But he didn't have the religion named after him, and his followers also didn't name it after him. Instead, they called the religion the goal that they have. So for example, think of Buddhism. If you're a Buddhist, then you are trying to become awakened. And Buddha literally means the awakened one. So Buddhism is a religion or philosophy that is not named after a person in the way, for example, wait a minute. What religion is named after a person? Think of Christianity. That's Christ. Christ just means anointed one. Buddhism, Buddha. That just means Buddha is the enlightened one. And here, Jain for Jainism is basically the exact same thing. A Jain is someone who is enlightened through the process of conquering themselves and shedding this earthly life. They reach enlightenment where they have all truth. That's called Jain. You're a Jain just like you're a Buddha, just like you could be Christ. Now, Christians don't say that you could be Christ, but Buddhists do say you could too be Buddha. So let's move down this list. We have the people who can teach how to live well and reach enlightenment, and this is the name of their teachers. I'd pronounce that Tirthakaras. That's my guess. I could be saying it wrong, but that's basically the spiritual leader that helps you cross this running river towards enlightenment. And we also have reincarnation and karma in this religion, Jainism, just like Buddhism and Hinduism. So I'll tell you a little bit more about this later, but Jainism is very similar to Buddhism and Hinduism. In fact, the Jains are the people who used to be Hindu. These are people in India who their ancestors were Hindus, but they are Jains practicing Jainism. And in Jainism, the main mantra or the number one rule, say, is called ahimsa, which means to do the rule is do no harm towards any living thing, any living creature, anything that's alive, you're not allowed to harm it. And so the Jains live respectfully and as if the Mother Nature and the earth and the trees and the tigers and the bears and the insects, everything alive has value, and you ought to respect them and do no harm to living things. That's the number one rule in Jainism. So I said I would tell you a little bit more about Buddhism, Hinduism, and Jainism. The Hindus, some of them turned into Buddhists in India, and the Hindus, some of them turned into Jains. Now, what exactly does that mean? Hinduism is the oldest recorded religion on earth, period, unless you count animism as a religion. So Hinduism is the oldest, and you can think of Buddhism and Jainism as revolutions within denominations of, or in a different way, reformations or whole new religions, but it's the same cultural people in that country. One difference is that the Buddhists believe in Maya, which means that the earth is an illusion. Everything earthly and natural, all of this, your experience is an illusion. Buddhists say there is no self or soul or consciousness like an I. When you say like, I'm hungry, I'm bored, I'm Sahar, I'm here, there's no I. So the Buddhists believe that there's no soul and that all of this experience on earth as you, it's all an illusion. That's called Maya. But the Jains do not believe that. So there is this major difference between Jains and Buddhists. Do not get them confused. They are different ways of life. If you wanted to become a Jain monk, there might be one of two major ways that you would live your life. So there's two kinds of ways, And these people are super interesting because they said that they've conquered the physical life so much that they don't even wear clothes. That's why they're called sky-clothed monks. They're the Daigambar. These are the monks that walk around naked. Also, they get permission from their community and they walk off into Mother Nature naked, and they lay somewhere and they sacrifice their bodies. That's how little they care about this life. So that's what these monks do. And there's different kinds of monks within Jainism. Some are the white clothed, and you can't see their silhouette at all. They're completely covered. If you look at Jainism from a literature point of view, you want to read about what they think, their beliefs, their history, their important figures. If you want to look at what might be called the holy text, the sacred text, if you might want to call it the scripture. But again, there's no God. There aren't gods in some supernatural realm. So we can call it the holy book, but it's not exactly what you and I in the Western world would think of as a holy book, because there's no God. They do have heavenly spirits and good spirit, bad spirit, but there's no God in Jainism, just like there's no God in Buddhism per se. So if you look at Jainism, you're going to find this on the screen here as one of their main mantras. If there was like the most important prayer, so to speak, in Jainism, then this on the screen is what you would see.